Knowledge versus thinking. Man's knowledge is his power. His thinking is the expression of that power. The expression of power is not power. Therefore, thinking is not power. As man gradually becomes aware of his omniscience, his thinking intensifies in voltage in proportion to the increase in awareness of his omniscience. Thinking is an electric wave extension from the centering fulcrum of knowledge, which seemingly divides knowledge into ideas and sets those ideas in motion to create forms of ideas as product of knowledge. Man's knowledge is like a deep well of still water. His thinking is like a two-way pump, which divides the quality of that stillness into quantities of parts and sets them flowing. That is what the objective universe is: quantities of many seemingly separate forms of idea, all of which are but parts of the one whole idea. Each seemingly separate part is a dynamic extension of the one static unity, but separateness only seems, for all are indissolubly bound together in light as one part. Knowledge is the foundation of man's concepts. Thinking transfers concepts into product. The quality of man's product depends upon the degree of awareness of his knowledge, and not upon the quality, quantity, or intensity of his thinking. Water cannot be drawn from an empty well, nor can clear water be drawn from a muddied well. Likewise, good product cannot come from intensive thinking unless knowledge backs that thinking. No idea of mind can ever become matter. Idea of product can never become product. Moreover, no expression of anything in nature is the idea which it expresses. The product of idea is not the idea it simulates. Idea is cosmic and cannot be produced in matter. Idea must be conceived in the mind before it can be simulated as product. Conceptions belong solely to the magnetic godlight and never become matter. A lever, for example, moving upon its fulcrum, expresses the idea of power by motion, but the idea of power is in the still fulcrum source of power. It is not in the moving lever. The lever would be both powerless and motionless if it did not have the stillness of the fulcrum from which to extend the simulation of power. A watch expresses the idea of time, but the watch is not time. Likewise, it expresses the idea of mechanical principles, but the watch is not the idea which is expressed by those mechanical principles. The printed poem is not the idea expressed in the poem. That printed poem has no meaning to anyone whose intelligence is insufficient to reflect the idea from the composer's mind to his own. No idea of mind ever becomes matter. Likewise, neither the musical composition on the printed page, nor the art of music which issues as sounds from musical instruments, is the inspired idea of the musician. Inspiration can never be produced. It can but be reflected from one inspired mind to another, recognizing one. Idea and inspiration may be echoed from spirit to spirit, but they can never become product of matter in motion.